Hello. 122 days ago, I wrote, it was June 3rd, 2013. I wrote an email or a note. Daniel, make videos about martial arts for marriage. And I think I did make a video, but I still have the note, so I'll do it again. In my lifetime, I learned martial arts. Well, 7 years old, but I didn't speak English, and then I got kicked, so I quit. But I really continued it from age 19 to about 28 or 27, something like that. And I did get fast reflexes. But if you're married, it's very dangerous because for some reason, if your spouse gets angry, I'll just give you the three scenarios here. One was the nails. One time she went to grab my arm like this with her claws and to scratch me, and I had my arm at my side, but she picked it up and grabbed it. And when I saw her face with the teeth in there, I yelled out, "No!" And instantly, my punch flew to her stomach and she went down to the ground. And I didn't want to do that. And then the first thought, I think, was, oh, I'm going to the police now. I'm going to jail now. The second thought was, I'm glad she got operated and she doesn't have a baby, a third child, that is, or she's not pregnant right now. All right, so the second scenario, let's see. Well, I did give it out in another video. It was I went outside with the child care kids, and she was upset about something, the spouse. And then the big boy called my son girlfriend, and my son didn't know what that means really, but instantly my son punched him in the mouth. So then I said, please don't say that. But then of course the big boy said, ow, and then he went and said, girlfriend, and then he got punched again in the mouth. And then I just grabbed him and started pulling him towards the house. We had not even made it out of the Florida room, so that tells you it was 3 steps. And when I was coming in, the spouse, she yanked the door back and she was about to slam it on my slippers, and I instantly saw my nails flipping back. In my mind I said, oh no, it's gonna hurt. And so one of my legs shot out and kicked her in the stomach. She went down again, and then I looked at both of my feet because I didn't even know which one had punched her. But I think it was my right, because I remember it was standing just a little bit ahead of the other one, the foot. And then I brought the big boy in, put an ice cube on him. And then when she saw that he was bleeding and everything, I guess she calmed down. But so what has my martial arts been useful for? Oh, it definitely gives you confidence. But I've only abused it, I guess, not intentionally, of course, against the spouse. And then, of course, one time there were 15, 20 black, and some say they were Puerto Rican and black, or some were saying black and black girls. There were just 2 big ones. Well, one big one and then the other one that wasn't backing down. And so as soon as they grabbed on, I got close enough. They were yelling and yelling, and finally when I get to them, they grabbed onto each other's hair, and I just split them away from each other. But I got thrown to the ground so fast. My friend said, "What happened? I thought you knew martial arts." And I said, "Well, it was too powerful. I didn't even know how I got to the floor." I think all four of us or five of us fell down. I'm not even sure. I mean, maybe I fell down, and I know I fell down, but I saw like another one getting up, and then I looked around. There were like several of us on the floor, and I was like, "Whoa!" So that's the only time I guess martial arts. Well, the Bible says, "Don't meddle in other people's problems," and like that. But again, I was thinking both of them are my God's daughters, or like God has all of us are His children, and I'm the only man. Well, there were other men around, but they didn't want to get involved. Another weird thing at the park was sometimes you see these kids that don't have adults near them. I think that those are, well, yeah, they're usually black, but what happens, these are little kids too, like, well, I found out that one of them was 10 years old, but he looked like 7. And I just suspect, maybe they don't have a dad, maybe their dad is in jail, maybe their mothers, I think it's their mothers that I think it's women that do this, they just send the boys out, go, 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 go. Because I really haven't seen that many girls. I see teenage girls, but I don't see 7 or 8 or 9 or 10-year-old girls by themselves. I'm sure there are some, but it's not usual. And what happened is this boy wanted to borrow my son's bicycle. And I said, "Sure, go ahead." I asked my son, "Well, do you want to loan it to him?" "Yeah, sure, no problem." So where this all goes is I taught my son martial arts, and the boy said he was going to take it home. So my son chased him all the way to the stop sign, and the boy gave him back his bicycle. You see, my son is having different experiences now. The boy, he was probably just playing that I'm going to steal this. He didn't say the word steal, but I'm going to take it home. And my son decided to stop him. "No, you're not." Not in words, no. He just grabbed the bicycle and wouldn't let go. And so that's confidence, because my son knew he could beat up the other boy. And the other boy somehow knew it. Somehow he knew it. So then, I'm talking about kissing wolf, because then what this black boy did was he got off the bicycle. Later on, my son doesn't let him use it anymore, but the other boy is playing sort of tag, where my son put the bicycle down and the other boy wants to run around my son to grab the bicycle. It was an unspoken game, no words, but my son just kept going around in a circle around his bicycle, and the other boy couldn't tag the bicycle or grab it. So then he did something completely shocking to me. He kissed my boy on the cheek. And my boy didn't punch him, because he did it so gently. But now my son and I, we're like, whoa, we're going to have to increase our defenses. No kissing. That was very unusual. All right, so the next one, I had an uncle. One time he told me about one of his wives. He got married a bunch of times. And what his wife did was, she had 2 knives. And she stabbed herself in the stomach, but it didn't go through because she was wearing a belt, and the knives hit the belt. So then, of course, he didn't call the cops. I guess long ago he didn't call the cops. He just locked himself in the bathroom for 4 hours or something like that. Oh, and this uncle, he did know how to fight because he was in a street fight once. Oh. Well, he grew up fatherless also. But you cannot, like, if a woman has a knife in an apartment, without hurting her, there's no way you're going to take that knife off of her. And then, of course, if the police get there, they don't know who started it, and she could say, "I was defending myself with the knife." Hmm. So, what can I tell you about martial arts? And then my own mother, of course, when I was 37, 3 years ago, she threw 2 knives at me. Sometimes I wonder if it was 2 or 3. You know, I mean, she threw them like frisbees and stuff. I called the cops. She got taken away. She got let. Then I went to drop the charges. And God is merciful. God let her out of jail because it's a felony. But she threw them like frisbees right at my feet and stuff like that. And I jumped behind a neighbor, a 70-year-old neighbor. And it was all because my mother didn't say good morning to me. Because I said good morning to the neighbor. Good morning, mother. Good morning, neighbor. Good morning, mother. They kept on talking and ignoring me. So then I was going to wait until they went shopping. It's a Saturday morning. But since they didn't say good morning to me, I said, okay. And I used to cut the grass in this house. And I used to get banged on the head by one tree branch back there with a tree. So I cut this. It's not an orange tree. It's the sour one. What's the opposite of an orange tree? That has sour. I don't like it. So I cut it. Then my mother chased me around the tree because it wouldn't fall, but she saw me cutting it. Didn't let me finish. But then by the time the cops came, the tree had finished falling. But now, for you, my listeners, don't live with anyone. Learn to build a little doghouse. Stick a mattress in there and live in that. But don't live with anyone. It's just very, very difficult. Like I spoke to the spouse and she says, "Yeah, let's put a shower in the garage." And then my mother says, "No, you need at least $2,000 to do it. Nah, can't be done." Oh, I'm thinking, I could do it myself. All right, I'm not a plumber, but I know I could do it. I mean, I would not do it all by myself. I would go and ask help. I would look at videos. I would do 1,000 things. Because one thing I've noticed about myself is, like, I'm not a perfectionist, but when you get out of my way, like the spouse gets out of the way and I can do something, I don't stop until it gets done. Like it took me 10 hours to build a bookshelf. But I had seen my neighbor, he had built 3 of them for us, 3 bookshelves before. So now I had an idea of how to do it. Where I goofed up is you need extra batteries for your drills. So it took 10 hours with the old-fashioned way screwdriver. And you do need help, because I did help the neighbor, at least holding something together, you know. And this spouse didn't want to help. So at the end, like on the 8th hour, I said, "If you don't help me, I don't let you go to sleep." Back then, I could do that because she had not Baker acted me. But now, If she wants to go to sleep, I get out of the room, or I'm usually not in there, but my son sometimes sleeps with her. So I go into the room, and usually my son goes to sleep at 9 o'clock, and that's when the novela is on. So I go with my serious face, and I tell her, or I send my son sometimes, let's go get your mother to help you go to sleep. And then he does it. He understands, and he does it. He goes to his mother, Mom, can you tuck me in and make me fall asleep and stuff? And she says, okay, because she wants to watch her novela. But I do this because you're a mom. Read a bedtime story to your son. She has not read a single bedtime story, I think, all year. Well, of course she has, because I asked her to do it. I asked her to do it just the other day. But on her own, she just doesn't do it, you know. She's not a gentle mother. She is a ruffian, or a rough person. So of course she hasn't been able to watch her novellas, because between 9 and 9:30 my son hits the sack, and of course he does fall asleep almost instantly. Like in 15 minutes he's asleep. And this last month or so, I told my mother to please lower the volume on the TV so that my son could sleep, because it goes right through the wall. My son is not complaining about the volume on the TV, but it irritates my mother, and I really don't want to have the TV on while the boy is sleeping. I mean, I want him thinking positive thoughts like, tomorrow is the day. God created all of us humans to do something special, to help each other. Think about Gandhi, Mother Teresa. Think about playing with his kittens. I don't want my son to go to sleep hearing gunshots and what else? Violence on TV, or a woman screaming, or a man screaming and yelling and stuff like that. Nah. That's, to me, garbage television. Yes, you can learn something from garbage TV, but it's better if you gotta condition your children or program your children for success, and you cannot do that if you're thinking about what I call stupid things. Is she going to go out with him? Is she going to keep the baby? Is she going to tell the truth in court? I mean, all of these novellas and soap operas. Live your life. My goodness. Don't watch garbage. Alright, talk to you later. Enjoy your life. Keep practicing your martial arts. Live alone if you're a man, and put a security camera right behind you. You know, this is your bed right here, and it shows her walking into your apartment, a little doghouse, and she did it voluntarily. It's not like you're dragging her by the hair to come inside, you know. And it's so small that now I believe that I have to have there has to be a woman that does want to cuddle, because I'm not the only one that wants to cuddle. My cats like to cuddle. There's this monkey experiment, Harlow's monkey experiment, where the monkey the monkey has two mothers. One feeds them. They're dolls. One is with wires, the wire doll, and that one has the milk. And the other one has the hair, and so like he loves to hang out with the one where he can grab the hair and just hold his mother. But then he leaves her and goes to drink water and then comes back to cuddle. So that's how important cuddling is. Alright, be a better dad than I am. Take care.